So while we're talking about education, you were a vocal opponent of the Linn-Mar schools policies that allowed kids to change their gender, their pronouns, their names without parents knowing. Iowa, this legislative session, we banned that. We made it clear. Can you believe we had to put into code that parents will be the primary decision makers of their children's education? But that's where we're at today. Did you ever think that we would get to this point where we would actually have to put something like that into law, and how do you address that as the President of the United States?
Well, first, Governor, I just want to thank you for your bold leadership and the leadership of your Lieutenant Governor, who I know is with us today, and also members of your state legislature who stepped forward.
Yep.
Look, when I first heard about the Linn-Mar community schools here in Iowa, it took my breath away. We heard from parents. I set up a foundation in Washington, and they said, we'd like your help with this federal lawsuit, because at Linn-Mar community schools, you'd have to have a note from your parents to get a Tylenol from the school nurse, but you could get a gender transition plan without ever telling your mom and dad or getting their permission. I mean, that radical gender ideology that's taken hold in that school is taken hold in schools all across the country. And it's one of the reasons we weighed in heavily on that lawsuit. I'm confident our conservative majority on the Supreme Court, if they take up the case, is going to get it right. We have got to make it clear that parents don't co-parent with government. Parents are in charge of their children's education. And we got to protect our kids from this radical gender ideology. It's another reason why I've been very clear. I mean, as President of the United States, I'm proud of the fact of what Iowa's done, what Indiana has done to protect our kids from chemical and surgical gender transition treatment. But I'll tell you what, as President of the United States, we're going to protect America's children from gender transition, chemical or surgical. We got to protect our kids in this country, and we will.
It should not be an experiment.
I promise you.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.